In a world of shifting power and rising tensions, the global order is being redefined before our eyes. The traditional centers of influence are no longer the sole architects of the future. Instead, new voices are rising, demanding a seat at the table and a say in shaping the destiny of nations. BRICS has emerged as a formidable force, championing the interests of the developing world. What began as an economic alliance has evolved into a powerful coalition, representing billions of people across continents. The bloc's growing influence is challenging the status quo, offering an alternative vision for global cooperation and development. As India prepares to lead the expanded bloc in 2026, the stakes are high, not just for India, but for the future of global governance. India's leadership comes at a pivotal moment, as the world grapples with economic uncertainty, climate change, and shifting alliances. The country's ability to navigate these challenges will shape the direction of BRICS and its role on the world stage. BRICS now commands a significant share of the world's population and economy, demanding attention from every major capital. With its members accounting for nearly half of humanity and a substantial portion of global GDP, the bloc's decisions reverberate far beyond its borders. The world is watching closely as BRICS seeks to redefine the rules of international engagement. Its agenda has grown beyond economics, now pushing for political reform and a more inclusive international system. BRICS is advocating for fairer representation in global institutions, greater cooperation on technology and security, and a stronger voice for the Global South in decision-making forums. The bloc's ambitions reflect the aspirations of millions who have long felt marginalized by existing power structures. India's message is clear. The Global South must help set the global agenda, not just follow it. By championing the priorities of developing nations, India seeks to empower those who have historically been on the sidelines. This vision is about partnership, mutual respect, and a shared commitment to progress. The recent Rio summit revealed both the bloc's potential and its internal divisions. While there is unity in purpose, differences in national interests and priorities remain. The path forward will require compromise, dialogue, and a willingness to bridge divides for the greater good. India's challenge is to unite this diverse group and deliver real results for the developing world. Success will depend on building trust, fostering innovation, and ensuring that the voices of all members are heard and respected. The world is looking to India to provide steady leadership and vision in these transformative times. This is a story of ambition, diplomacy, and the quest for a new global balance. As the sun rises on a new era, the Global South stands ready to shape the future, determined, united, and hopeful for what lies ahead. BRICS began as a 2001 Goldman Sachs acronym, BRICS, grouping Brazil, Russia, India, and China as future economic powerhouses. The bloc's leaders soon saw an opportunity to turn economic strength into political influence, challenging the Western-dominated world order. South Africa joined in 2010, making BRICS a more representative voice for the Global South. The group's biggest achievement, creating the new Development Bank and Contingent Reserve Arrangement, offering alternatives to the IMF and World Bank. These institutions reflect BRICS' ambition to build a parallel financial system for emerging economies. What started as a concept is now a political alliance with global impact. BRICS' recent expansion, welcoming Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, the UAE, and Indonesia, has transformed it into a truly global coalition. The bloc now represents nearly half the world's population and 40% of global output. This growth brings new resources and influence, but also greater complexity. The expanded group includes democracies, autocracies, and regional rivals, making consensus harder to achieve. Managing these differences is BRICS' biggest challenge. If the bloc can unite, it could drive real reform in global governance. But internal divisions risk turning it into a forum for debate, not action. The future of BRICS depends on its ability to balance diversity with decisive leadership. India's vision for its 2026 chairmanship is clear: move BRICS from rhetoric to results. Prime Minister Modi wants BRICS to stand for building resilience and innovation for cooperation and sustainability. India aims to champion the Global South, focusing on development finance, food and energy security, and climate justice. The strategy: find common ground, avoid divisive issues, and deliver practical cooperation in areas like health, education, and technology. India's goal is to prove BRICS can act collectively, even with diverse members. Success will depend on India's ability to build trust and keep the bloc focused on shared priorities. As India assumes the BRICS chair, it steps into a role fraught with both promise and peril. Internally, India must navigate a complex web of relationships, balancing the interests of countries that are often rivals, each with their own political systems, economic priorities, and strategic ambitions. The challenge is not just about managing differences, but about forging consensus among nations that sometimes see the world through very different lenses. This requires deft diplomacy, patience, and a willingness to compromise, all while keeping the group's broader goals in sight. Externally, India faces mounting pressure from the United States and its Western allies, who are wary of BRICS's growing influence and its potential to challenge the established global order. These powers often attempt to sway member countries or undermine the bloc's unity, making India's diplomatic balancing act even more delicate. Internal divisions threaten to paralyze the group, especially when it comes to contentious issues like trade, security, and the future direction of BRICS itself. Disagreements can stall progress, and without unity, the bloc risks losing its relevance on the world stage. China's ambitions to expand its influence, combined with ongoing tensions between Gulf states and Iran, add further layers of complexity. These rivalries can derail negotiations and make it difficult to present a united front. On the global stage, the U.S. often frames BRICS as an anti-Western alliance, complicating diplomatic efforts for members like India and Brazil, who seek constructive engagement with both East and West. Critics dismiss BRICS as little more than a talk shop, questioning whether it can move beyond rhetoric to deliver meaningful change for its members and the wider global South. To prove the skeptics wrong, India must champion and deliver real, impactful projects, initiatives that improve lives, foster development, and demonstrate the bloc's value in concrete terms. The success of the new development bank is especially crucial. Its ability to fund transformative projects and support sustainable growth will be a key measure of BRICS' credibility and effectiveness. India's task is clear but challenging: mediate disputes, push for collective action, and show that BRICS can deliver real benefits for the global South, not just promises. Ultimately, only tangible results, visible progress, and successful projects will silence the doubters, strengthen the bloc, and secure BRICS' place as a force for positive change in the world. At the 2025 Rio summit, U.S. President Trump threatened steep tariffs on BRICS nations, aiming to fracture the bloc. The U.S. demanded countries choose between Washington and BRICS, escalating economic pressure. BRICS responded with a unified condemnation, calling the tariffs a threat to fair trade. This rare show of solidarity proved the bloc could stand together under pressure. For India, the challenge is to balance ties with the U.S. while advancing BRICS's agenda. De-escalating trade tensions and strengthening internal unity are top priorities. The episode highlights how BRICS' rise is reshaping global economic power plays. India's flagship proposal is a BRICS multilateral guarantees mechanism, using the new development bank to unlock investment for the global South. This would reduce risk for investors and offer a real alternative to Western financial institutions. India also prioritizes joint climate action, pushing for fair climate finance and technology transfer. Digital transformation and poverty reduction are key, with India sharing its digital public infrastructure model. The focus practical, scalable solutions that directly benefit developing nations. These initiatives aim to make BRICS a platform for real progress, not just talk. India's results-oriented approach could redefine the bloc's global role. The 2025 Rio summit offered a revealing glimpse into the evolving dynamics of the BRICS alliance, showcasing both its collective strengths and the underlying tensions that continue to shape its future. As the world watched, The summit became a stage for both unity and divergence, reflecting the complex realities of global leadership in a rapidly changing era. Notably, Russian President Vladimir Putin and Chinese President Xi Jinping participated virtually rather than in person. Their remote attendance underscored not only the external geopolitical pressures facing their countries, but also the shifting internal priorities within BRICS. This hybrid format highlighted the challenges of maintaining cohesion among member states with diverse interests and global responsibilities. One of the summit's most significant achievements was the signing of a joint declaration. This document called for urgent reform of the United Nations Security Council, aiming to give a stronger voice to developing nations. Additionally, BRICS leaders advocated for increased voting power for emerging economies in key global financial institutions like the IMF and World Bank, signaling a push for a more equitable international order. The bloc also took a firm stance on pressing global issues. Leaders condemned recent military strikes in Iran and expressed deep concern over the ongoing humanitarian crisis in Gaza. They reaffirmed their collective commitment to combating terrorism in all its forms, emphasizing the need for international cooperation and dialogue to address these urgent challenges. Environmental issues were high on the agenda, with the summit marking progress on climate action. New investments were pledged to protect Brazil's vital rainforests, and leaders participated in a symbolic tree planting ceremony. The group also called for fair and inclusive governance of artificial intelligence, recognizing its growing impact on society and the global economy. In a move to strengthen global trade, the summit voiced strong support for Ethiopia and Iran's accession to the World Trade Organization. BRICS leaders also called for the restoration of the WTO's dispute resolution system, aiming to ensure a fairer and more effective framework for resolving international trade disagreements. These outcomes not only set the stage for India's upcoming leadership of the bloc, but also highlight the opportunities and challenges that lie ahead. As India prepares to take the helm, the world will be watching to see how it navigates the complex landscape shaped by these pivotal moments in Rio. As 2026 approaches, India faces a defining test as BRICS chair. Its task unite a diverse bloc through pragmatic, achievable goals, not grand rhetoric. India must leverage its unique position to build consensus and turn diversity into strength. Delivering on the multilateral guarantees mechanism and climate cooperation will be key. Success could empower the global south and reshape global governance. The stakes are high. BRICS' future will impact development prospects worldwide. A cohesive, effective BRICS could anchor a more balanced global order. If India rises to the challenge, it could help shape a fairer, more sustainable world.